our Marketing Vice President. We also have two guest speakers that we're delighted to have join us on today's call, and we just appreciate them taking the time out of their busy schedules to help explain the program and the way that they use the program, where each one of them is very successful. So we wanted them to kind of share their stories and their advice with our agents so they can help you. Maybe you can pick up a pointer or two along the way so you could start using the LEAD program as soon as this coming Monday if you're not using it already. So we have our LEAD program creator, Stephen, who is on with us. We also have a very successful agent of ours out of Texas, Kent. So he's on the phone with us as well. And so you're going to hear an insight from a real live agent that's using the program every day, and then you're going to hear Stephen's take on the program, and he actually designed it and used it for many, many years. So you're going to get two very good stories from two different parts of the insurance selling world, if you will. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk about some of our upcoming training webinars. We're going to talk about some of our new tools that are available to you as well at no charge. And then, of course, we're going to dive right into the LEAD program. And then at the end, we're going to show you what drop tickets and e-applications you can use to sell over the phone. So if you have a client or prospect that is ready to hear about a quote and ready to sign up, you can literally pull out a drop ticket link, which will show you where to go for those links, and you can sign the client up within 5 minutes, and you are done. You can move on to the next lead. So we have some great stuff to talk about. Take out a pen and paper, jot down any questions that you might have, and we will, of course, either call you back, you can call us, or email us after today's call. Just because the number of attendees we have is very high, so we have a closed call today. With that said, I'm going to introduce Joseph Loughran, who's going to talk about our upcoming training webinars. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. As usual, every webinar session that we do is actually recorded and posted to the Levinson YouTube channel that same day. So today's webinar, of course, is being recorded. Everyone in attendance will receive a link to actually watch this webinar over again this afternoon. So look out for that in your email later on today. I just want to highlight a couple upcoming webinars for next week. Like Bill mentioned, we do have various webinars on different topics, and there's some really great ones coming up for next week. The first of which is on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're covering our e-policy delivery platform. If you haven't used that before, basically what it is in a nutshell is an electronic way for you as an agent to electronically deliver a policy. So instead of having to wait for a policy to come to you in the mail, deliver it to the client, whether you're mailing it to the client or seeing them face-to-face, and then mailing it back to the carrier, that whole process on average takes about 1.5 to 2 weeks. With the electronic policy delivery platform, the day your policy is issued or approved, it's electronically going to be emailed to you. You can then send it to the client, have them sign off on it, and actually put that policy in force that same exact day. And then if the policy takes, let's say, on average 1.5 weeks to get to the client, that's fine. They'll have an actual paper copy as well. But the whole point behind e-policy delivery is shaving off 1.5 to 2 weeks on the whole policy cycle. And that's going to help you see more clients, improve the customer service relationship, because things are going to get done much, much faster than they have in the past. Again, that's at 2 p.m. Eastern. The following day, which is Tuesday, we have a 2 p.m. webinar on Disability Underwriting 101. We're going to talk about what type of underwriting is done for disability products, the streamlined non-med products, and also what questions you should be asking when quoting disability income. That's especially important when we get into the mortgage lead program, because a lot of people, you're not just going to be talking about life insurance, you also want to talk about disability income coverage if something should happen to them that's not going to result in a death claim. The following day, which is Wednesday the 25th, we have a complete overview of the AMERICO final expense portfolio. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, we actually have a repeat of that e-policy delivery platform again at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can go to CarrieLevinson.com to register for any single one of these webinars. You'll see over on the right-hand side of the website, there is a calendar. You can click on that calendar and see every single training session for that week, the next week, basically for the next several months, all planned out. And of course, you can visit that YouTube channel to see every single upcoming webinar that we've ever done in the past.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So we all know, I'm sure some of us on the call have been an agent for maybe a few months. We have others that are veteran-type agents that have been in the industry, I'm sure, for 30, 40 years. And it's not the way that it used to be. Many, many years ago, in fact, I'm 38 now. I started 16 years ago. And my father started the agency in 1972. So, of course, we would share stories. And the way it used to be, you know, if you had great relationships and good follow-up skills and you were a great salesperson and knew your products, you know, you can build a nice book of business. But these days, yes, you need all of those traits, of course, but you also need to know the basics with technology, okay? You need to keep your name in front of your clients. And, you know, I don't care what system you're using, but it's so important. And I'll just give you an example. You know, let's say 20 years ago, you were a life insurance agent, and you did very well, and, you know, you had your book of business, and you would send out your birthday cards and holiday cards, and just to kind of keep your name in front of your clients, which is always, you know, the right thing to do, as we know. But these days, it's a different world, and I'll give you an example. What happens now, and let's just use, you know, Bill Levinson, the life insurance agent. I sell Lisa Smith a 10-year term policy a few years ago. And Lisa lives in my neighborhood, and we're basically neighbors. And I run into Lisa at the local supermarket. And, you know, I say to Lisa, hey, how are you? It's Bill. You know, I live in the neighborhood. I'm the life insurance guy. And she says, oh, Bill, how are you? Yeah, I remember I bought a policy from you a few years back. And you say, oh, yeah, by the way, do you still have the policy? You know, is everything okay? Has anything changed? And she says, yeah, everything is great. She goes, in fact, I just bought a long-term care policy 2 weeks ago. And, you know, I just thought that the family needed it. It was a smart thing to have. And so I bought a policy. And you say, well, Lisa, why didn't you call me for the long-term care policy? And Lisa says, well, gosh, Bill, I only thought you sold life insurance. I didn't know you sold long-term care insurance, too. You know, what happened is I got an email from the Boca, Florida long-term care group, and it just basically talked about the need for long-term care and gave some sample rates. So I clicked reply, and next thing you know, a 25-year-old agent was at my house the next night. So I bought the policy. Everything sounded great. It's from an A company. And I had no idea, Bill, that you sold long-term care. I'm so sorry. Well, guess what? Shame on me for not keeping my name in front of my clients. That's my fault, okay? You need to drip on these clients and prospects at least once a month. I email and, yes, send out a birthday card and holiday card. But if Lisa receives my emails every month, and in the bottom left corner it has a picture of Bill Levinson, and it says, your local life insurance, long-term care, annuity, disability, and accident agent, Lisa would have got that email from some stranger, and she would have said, oh, wow, I do need long-term care, but I remember our neighbor, Bill Levinson, who sold us the life policy, also sells long-term care. I'm going to give Bill a call, and I would have got the sale. So here, this is a free service that everybody should be using. What we did is we rolled out the Me Again application, and it does just that. So what I'm telling you is you don't need to be a Bill Gates and have a Facebook, social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, every single account that's available online. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is with our free platform, we have a Me Again CRM app, okay, Client Relationship Management Tool. That's what that stands for. We have a free website. So when Lisa says, hey, maybe I'll call Bill, she can also go to my website and see what services I provide. Okay. Also, Bill has a free app on his phone where he can run quotes instantly when he runs into Lisa at the supermarket. We also have a social media package that basically activates, and we can maintain a Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter account for you so you don't have to do anything. So these are options that are available to you. Most of everything that we spoke about is free except for the social media package, which starts at $99. But the long story short is you really need to use some of these tools if you want to be successful in moving forward into the future. The younger generation is used to doing business over the phone, on the internet. Everything is 1, 2, 3. They don't want you sitting at their kitchen table at 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday evening when it's family time, okay? It's a different world now, so I can't stress that enough. Okay, Joe is going to talk about the app quickly. This is basically what you're going to use when you bump into Lisa at the supermarket. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So this is a kind of a screenshot of the 11th app. We're going to actually email out instructions today, this afternoon, on how to download it. But basically, you bookmark it on any smartphone that has internet connection. You can actually instantly quote your clients from anywhere. The best part is you don't have to actually say, well, let me get back to you this afternoon when I get back to my office or tomorrow. You can run numbers instantly, put in the client's email address, send them that quote, and then you can take that client's contact information, put it into that Me Again application that Bill just explained. Now you can have an automated follow-up system for that client, so you're always staying in front of them, and really that's going to result in more touches on that client, more drip email marketing, and in the long run, keep your name in front of them, and that's really the name of the game.
Okay, thanks, Joe. And these are two new exclusive products that are only available to the Levinson agents. This is also a great way to build your own hierarchy and become a general agent, and maybe have some agents under you where you make an override. And the reason why is because these two products you cannot get from anywhere else. And they have such a great sizzle to our agents and clients that you should be talking about this with any agent that you know, and of course all of your clients. The first one is Lightning Issue Term, and how we spoke about earlier. It's a different world now. And mark my words that now and moving into the future, most of the smaller face amount policies for term insurance and final expense, they're going to be sold with a link, okay, with zero agent involvement. Now, this doesn't mean that the carrier is cutting the agent out. Okay, what this means is, let's say Bill Levinson, the life insurance agent, wants to be able to sell Lightning Issue Term. So Bill Levinson gets appointed with Lightning Issue Term, and then I get my own custom link that I can place on my website. I can put on my Facebook page. I can email blast my link to all of my clients and prospects. Okay, so now what happens is when a client clicks on this link, they can run a quote to see how much it costs. If they say, wow, for a 39 male smoker, $100,000, 30-year term, it's only $24 a month, where do I sign up? Well, there's a button that says sign up here. A one-page app pops up. It takes less than 5 minutes to fill out. There's only 3 health questions. That client gets an instant approval in real time, okay? So there's no wait, lag time, no nothing. They get an instant approval. The policy is mailed out directly to the client within 48 hours, all while the agent did nothing. It's very, very simple, okay? This is the future for the smaller face amount products, I promise. So this is the first product where this has ever been done for a term policy to be sold with zero agent involvement. Up to $100,000, up to age 55, up to 30 years of guaranteed term coverage, 3 health questions. Clients can pay ongoing premiums by credit card or, of course, a typical checking account. Great part is every agent gets double-digit lifetime renewals. As long as the policy stays in force, you get your renewals forever. Very simple. Every client receives a $5,000 scholarship to any of our 333 colleges across the country. And of course, every agent gets a free website so they can place their link on their homepage to start driving traffic to the Lightning Issue Term product. Obviously, the more clients that purchase, you get paid on every single policy and lifetime renewals on every policy as well. Okay, the University Plus on the right side. Excuse me. We've all heard of the Gerber Grow Up Plan, okay, which is a college savings policy. the Gerber Grow Up Plan is a great deal for families, and we all know that because it's a policy where a parent or policy owner can put away and start saving for little Johnny's education. Okay, and what we realized is, let's say Bill Levinson, now I'm the parent, and I buy this Gerber Grow Up Plan, and I'm putting in $50 a month, and I say, wow, this is a great deal. And when little Johnny is now 18 years old, I can cash in my policy. In fact, the policy endows, and I'll get a check, let's say, for $19,000 that I can use for Johnny's 4-year education, which sounds great, but what Bill Levinson, the parent, didn't realize is I'm going to get taxed as ordinary income on that $19,000, okay, because this is a MEC policy. It endows when Johnny is 18. So now $3,000 to $5,000 comes off of that 19. All of a sudden, it doesn't look like such a great deal. So, of course, that's the part that Gerber doesn't talk about, and, of course, most agents aren't going to talk about. So what we did is we compared this to our whole life product, okay, and we said, wow, if we can get that same premium, let's say that $50 a month, okay, and we can get the same cash value, in this case, let's say it's $19,000, but we can use this on a whole life chassis, okay, where the policy is a non-MEC, and the policy does not endow when Johnny is 18, we will be able to take out that $19,000 and not get taxed on the $19,000 withdrawal or loan. And our policy keeps going as long as Bill, the parent, wants to pay for it. So we can keep paying the premiums forever, and it's guaranteed. And our death benefit with University Plus is about 5 times the amount as the Gerber plan. And the best part is, with the University Plus, when Bill, the parent, takes out the $19,000 for Johnny's education, we also get 1 free year tuition of a scholarship at no extra charge. So now we have 1 free year plus $19,000. Let's say that pays for almost 2 years, which is half of a 4-year education. So for the same dollar amount, you're getting 5 times the death benefit, same cash value, a policy that can go forever, plus a free 1-year scholarship to any of our 333 universities. I just want you to understand why this is a no-brainer and a win-win for everybody involved. That's the University Plus, up to $150,000, simplified issue, and of course we can write this on children or the parents. So we also have an e-application tied in as well. So let us know if you're interested, and we have quick, easy-to-understand rate cards that are just a sliding little tablet that you can pull out of your briefcase and show to all your clients, and it rates everybody and then shows cash values, premiums, death benefit, and scholarship points that accrue every year. Okay, we're going to talk about the Sell While You Sleep platform and our INS Professional free agent website slide. So what we were talking about earlier is you need to have that online presence. Now, we give a free website to every single licensed agent that we have at no charge. The way it works is you go to insprofessional.com. We have about 20 different templates or backgrounds that you can choose from, and everything is already customized for you. Or, of course, you can add a picture of your family and the family dog. Maybe you sell health insurance on the side, which is fine. You can add that information, so it's fully customizable. Then the neat part is, let's say when you get appointed with Lightning Issue Term, if you look at the top right, the box there, so let's say you want to get appointed, you get a custom link that's just for you, that's custom to you, the agent. You put in the link, it's just a copy and paste where that first arrow is, and then you click the button, Add Link to My Site. Well, right on the home page of your website, there's a Lightning Issue Term logo that pops up that says, click here for a quote. And the point is to drive traffic to your website so your clients click on the link, they run a quote and go, wow, this is very inexpensive, and purchase the policy. That's the whole point. Plus, we have full quote engines, calculators, about us pages, services. Every single thing that your client needs to know about you, the agent, is on your website. And I don't care if you're making $10 million a year or you're making $10,000 a year. Everybody needs to have a website nowadays, because I promise you, Your clients are doing Google searches, and they want to see who they're dealing with, especially when you're selling over the phone and working the lead program. This is crucial. Okay, let's move right on. I know we're running a little late here. You talk about the final expense and door openers. We have an awesome turnkey platform that's available at no charge. Joe's going to touch on this. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So, we've got 2 more slides till we roll into the mortgage lead program. I just wanted to bring up the final expense lead program, which is really centered around the Legacy Safeguard sales platform. So what you're seeing here over on the left-hand side is all about the direct-to-consumer mailer pieces. This is specifically for final expense. The cost is $420 per 1,000 mailers. You actually pick the age, the zip code, the estimated incomes. You can pick even counties if you want, so you can get very specific with what type of demographic these lead cards are going to be sent to. The way it works is the company, for the $420, they actually pay for the postage, the printing. They actually drop them in the mail, and you receive these directly back to you as an agent. So that's going to have all the client contact information. The neat part about this direct mail program is it's centered around that Legacy Safeguard program. If you're not familiar with it, it's actually a third-party company that offers your clients all these different bullets on the right-hand side. So you get access to legacy planning software, basically anything and everything a client would need to help them plan for final expenses, negotiating the price of the funeral, finding a funeral home, getting bereavement travel assistance for those survivors, grief counseling support. There's DVDs, sales CDs, a lot of great material that you can actually send and give to your client. We actually have a sales kit that goes over the entire process. So it doesn't matter if you're new to final expense or if you're a veteran agent, this platform will help you really understand what the hot buttons are and really give your client something that they're not going to find elsewhere in the industry. So it's a great way to break into the final expense marketplace and use all those different tools specifically for getting more leads in that final expense arena. The next slide is on our annuity program. We do have a co-op lead program for annuities. We have an in-house annuity division, which is headed up by Josh Hoffman. He is at extension 23. If you're not familiar with annuities or even writing them for several years, Josh is our go-to annuity person. He'll help you on case design, finding out which annuity is going to be the most competitive. He'll even help you get set up with this annuity lead program. The way that this works is the cost is $450, and that gets you 1,000 mailers. It's about a week turnaround time. Again, you get to pick the demographics, the age, the income, the household value or net worth of that client. On average, the return is for every 1,000 mailers, you're going to get about 20 leads back. That's specifically for annuity products. So that's another great platform if you're interested in some additional leads specifically for annuities. And we've got a great annuity portfolio that'll kind of help you break into that marketplace.
Okay, thank you, Joe. We're going to dive right into our mortgage lead program now, and we're going to bring out Ken and Steve. So we have some great stuff here. And what I'm going to say is I'm sure a lot of you have already used the program and you're just on the call to get some pointers or tips. And then I'm sure a few of you, in fact, I know a few of you are brand new with us that would also like to experiment and try out the program. So we're going to try to touch on everyone's thoughts and questions. So with that said, these are a couple of bullets that we're going to talk about briefly, and then we're going to move on to testimonials, and then we'll dive into today's presentation. So none of our leads are shared leads. In fact, they're exclusive to each agent. And I just want you to understand there are times when a new mortgage holder, let's say they filled out a few different mortgage protection cards, and so of course, yes, there's going to be a few agents calling. So Kent and Steve are going to give you a few pointers to show you how you can stand out above the rest. So we'll talk about that in a second. Minimum order of 10 leads. So every Monday you will receive an email that says, hey, we need to place our order today before 7 o'clock, and then we'll place the order at the end of Monday. You receive your order within 24 hours. Typically, it's before 6 o'clock the following day. They're $18 a piece. With every order of 10, you get 2 free leads, and then, of course, 15 leads, you get 3 free leads. And that's basically just to make up for, let's just say if someone maybe is a little older than they put on the card, or maybe they're not healthy, or there's a situation where you just can't make a sale. So That's kind of just to cover up for any errors or any issues. Of course, 20 leads, we're giving out 4 free leads. There's no minimum order contract. That's huge. We all know with most of these, especially internet lead providers, you give them your credit card number and you order one time. Next thing you know, every week they're charging your credit card, and it becomes a real problem. And they don't know the insurance business. That's the issue. So we're finding just a lot of problems out there with these third-party lead providers. Leads delivered, of course, within 24 hours, like we spoke about earlier. And this is very, very important. Now, we go through a lot of work, and we use a lot of resources to offer these leads to our agents at this price. And basically, it's a co-op program to where it actually costs us a few dollars as well, so you can participate in the program. So the only thing that we ask is any and all business that is placed with these leads must come back through our organization, as you can understand. And if there's ever, let's say there's a commission issue where you have an existing contract, just let us know. We will meet or beat what you're getting right now currently. So there's really no reason to go outside of the Levinson agency with these leads. So if there is an issue, please let us know, and I will handle it personally. Okay, these are a few testimonials that we have had come in recently on our Facebook page. The first one there on the top is great leads. I contacted 7 of the 12 that I ordered last night and set 4 appointments from Mike S. out of Kentucky. That's huge. These are agents that just took the time out of their own schedule to let us know this. We never even asked them what they thought. The second one is the program is working great. The first 5 called and resulted in quotes on both husband and wife, plus 2 disability plans sold from Melinda R. out of Maryland. So another great tip. Now, I'm also going to say the program is not for everyone. Okay, I don't want you to think we're trying to come up with this whole sales pitch. We want everybody to use this. No, we don't. We know it's not for everyone. You have to put the time into this. You have to be organized. You have to have a plan, which Ken is going to talk about. He's a master of how he keeps everything organized and his follow-up. So with that said, I'm going to introduce Ken, who's very, very successful with us. He's been using the LEAD program since its inception. He was one of our pilot agents that we rolled this out with, and now orders just about every week. So Ken is going to talk about 3 bullets that we wanted to outline, and then we're going to have Steve come on when Ken is done to talk about those 3 bullets there, and he has a little different style. So we're going to hear from both Ken's style and then Steve. So first off, I want to introduce Ken. Ken, you there?
I am here. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, everybody. I want to first say that if I can make the mortgage lead business work or make it successful, anybody can. I'm just honestly a guy a hard-headed guy out of the state of Oklahoma that's been in Texas for about 30 years, and I've worked hard, I'm organized, but blessed. But if I can do this, anybody can. So I want to get that out there. The first bullet I believe that Bill wants me to tackle is the approach on the initial contact. I'd like to say that the approach that I use it goes something like this. If you're taking notes, I'll try to say it a couple of times, and I'll slow it down on the second or third time. But I say, hello, Sam. My name is Kent, and I'm calling you from the Mortgage Protection Center. On the questionnaire, you recently returned after either refinancing or purchasing a home. So what I do is I lay it out there for these folks to understand that I've received a questionnaire back based on them answering questions. So let me say that one more time. Hello, Sam. My name is Kent, and I'm calling you from the Mortgage Protection Center. On the questionnaire, you recently returned after either refinancing or recently purchasing your home. I just wanted to call you and talk about mortgage protection insurance, as that's something that you're still looking to do. And then what I do, I go into the information that they provided. I just basically go in and talk about, I have here your date of birth is 12/21/62, your height is 5'11", your weight is 198 pounds. You showed to be a non-tobacco user. Then I asked the simple health questions. Have you ever experienced, any conditions, heart conditions, any cancer? And talked about, have you ever taken any medications? I just go through a process of asking them a series of questions. Now, I try to keep it on a light note here because you got to remember, you're either going to come off as very salesy or you're going to come off as very genuine on this call. So I suggest that you talk a little bit, but they can see right through that you're trying to be salesy. So it's a skill. The more times you make this phone call, the better you're going to become. So after you talk with them, you're going to ask them about what is the purpose of buying your insurance. I know you sent it in based on mortgage protection. Let's talk about the real reason that you want insurance. You might get questions, this sounds like life insurance. And the way you address that is you say it absolutely is, but it's set up as a mortgage protection vehicle. And all you're telling them that obviously is it's life insurance and it's designed around a mortgage protection. So you start talking to that number, and then you're going to run quotes right there for them. If you aren't familiar with running quotes, make sure you speak with Joe, and he will help you get online and learn how to run those quotes. Those quotes are sent directly to them immediately upon that call. So let's go through the approach one more time. Hello, Sam. My name is Kent, and I'm calling you from the Mortgage Protection Center on the questionnaire you recently returned after either refinancing or recently purchasing your home. So you stick with that theme, and then you just walk right into the question and answer session. The second bullet talks about overall workflow process. What I'd like to say about that is I'm big on being organized, but you can be too over-organized. So I used to have Excel spreadsheets and keep all of my people, but I take the lead that Joe gives me. I write up in the top right-hand corner the date in which I received the lead. Down on the bottom of that lead, I write the date, and then I write notes on the conversation that I have. So that information continues to be an ongoing flow until I either close on them or I move on and just move them out of my portfolio or my book. I don't, just remember what I said, you don't want to hang on to these people forever. You want to move on to the next phone call. So through that process, I'm trying to think of anything else that would help you on the workflow. Is basically you're trying to go from A to Z by making the phone call, follow up, be persistent, way on the side of being a nuisance, and of course don't cross that line. There is a fine art to it, but basically get into the follow up, close on the deal, and basically you're going to be issuing a policy within 60, 90 days. Top suggestions for success. Anyone that has played the game of golf, I thought about this the other day, about this business, this mortgage lead protection program, and I'd like to say that anyone's played the game of golf or has even heard about the game knows how frustrating the game can be. And I know because I'm not real good at it, but I'm learning the game with my 14-year-old. And I'd like to illustrate how the mortgage lead business is similar to the game. If you basically, when you get the leads from Joe, basically what's happening is he's teeing the ball up for you. And as soon as you hit that ball, it's going into the fairway. And when we call the prospect, we are actually driving that ball into the fairway, as I said. Now the remaining work is to get the ball to the hole. And again, I am not a great golfer, but this analogy is perfect because this business, this mortgage lead business, is just like the game of golf. I'm telling you. You're trying to get it to the hole by in the relationship of this business is to build a relationship, A, B, get an application, and C, collect the premium to issue a policy. Now 75% of the game of golf is your short game. Those three things I just mentioned is that's your short game to this business. Build a relationship, get an application, and collect the premium after you issue the policy. The reason I mention these 3 items or 3 areas of the business is because you have to go through many, many calls to develop people skills in order to improve your short game. This business is about 3 areas that I would consider even the game of golf to be very similar. A, you have to make a financial investment. B, you have to be persistent and work daily. And C, you have to accept that not every day is going to be a great day. There are many days that I have a lot of success, and I'm sure you guys can relate. There's a day that every call I make seems to be flowing and my personality is working with others. There are some days that I just don't connect, and it's just it's a very challenging thing to do, but I can assure you that I know this. If I have a tough day, I know tomorrow I'm going to wake up and have a great day. And so I would like to encourage everybody to keep that in their notes. If I may just add a little more to the success that I've found in this mortgage lead process, I like to add the 3 B's of insurance that I've kind of put alongside of my hit to work the business. Be the first to call the people. Be persistent and organized. And the third thing is be willing to move off of your folks that aren't going to purchase. You've got to continue to be moving and not be stuck on them. And so I think that you'll find that this business is extremely successful because it takes a lot of patience, but yet it's a very, very rewarding experience because every time I order leads, there's always one, and you're looking for that one. So I wish everybody the best of luck, and Bill, if there's anything else you need me, I'm here, and I'll be happy to jump in here.
Thank you very much, Kent. That's a good analogy, and I never thought of it like that, but that's exactly right on there, spot on, perfect. And yeah, it's so true. And really, the proof is in the pudding, with us here at Levinson and Associates, because we don't even, ask for feedback or comments. We see agents, just reaching out and saying, hey, the program is working great. I was able to make, 3 sales out of an order of 10. But the real proof to us is when we see agents come back, week after week or 2 or 3 times a month ordering, obviously spending their hard-earned money on these leads, then we know it's working. So, about 70 to 80% of the agents are coming back again and again to order. So when I say the proof is in the pudding, that the writing is on the wall. So that's all we need to see, and obviously we're going to keep trying to make the program better and better. Okay, so with that said, Ken, thank you very much for taking the time. And now we're going to introduce Steve, who actually created the program, and he also happens to be very close with Kerry, my father, and we have an outstanding relationship, and he knew this a while back. The only reason why we even gave this a shot about 1.5 years ago now was because of the relationship end of it, because we can't expose any leads to our agents unless we know the program works. So with that said, I'm going to introduce Steve, and then he'll give us his take on those 3 bullets and the sample lead. Steve?
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
And I thank everyone for attending taking the time to attend the webinar today. My name is Steve Smith, and as Bill mentioned, I've been with this program personally for a good many years. I am familiar with what's out there, and there's a lot of different lead programs and certainly a lot of different mortgage lead programs. Being a hands-on person as I am, each and every lead that's sent out to an agent has been looked over, has been scrubbed, in other words, for ages and for amounts of the mortgage. And this is totally different than most other lead programs, because many leads that do go out, and I see this, and we discard these before they ever see the light of the day to an agent, is someone who's 75, 76, 78 years old, and not that they can't be sold insurance, but it's very unlikely. it's the premium cost is just so high. And in a lot of cases, you'll see a couple, husband, wife, male, female, where one of them is maybe only in their 60s, but the other one, again, is well into their 70s. That's a lead, again, that's not going to be sent out to an agent. And that saves you money, and it also saves you time. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it's very important for each of the agents who do order, and I think anyone that has ordered that's listening in will shaking the head yes, is when you look at a lead, and Joe put up a sample lead here, that you look at it. Regardless of what area you may be in the United States, where you're ordering from, it's unlikely that your total order is going to be filled locally, be it in the state of Kansas or Texas or Florida or wherever. And so you have to look at a lead. You have to feel comfortable with it. You have to sort of get a sense of it. At the same time, you don't want to prejudge it. It may be a lead mortgage amount that doesn't seem to be especially high. We have a cutoff minimum of $50,000 and above. But even with a mortgage of $60,000 or $70,000, you may find that there's a situation, and I know Kent has alluded to this in the past, and I found this to be true. This is going to open doors to conversation. And it's going to open doors to conversations that's going to lead you to bigger amounts and bigger premiums. It's also that smaller mortgage amount might also be just a second mortgage. They may have a more sizable first mortgage. But regardless of the situation, it opens the door to you and allows you to walk in and be able to discuss their needs. And that's what this whole thing is about. You know, Kent alludes to establishing a relationship. And even on the telephone, even with people that you'll never set eyes on, you can establish a relationship. I have done it with hundreds of people. Kent has done it with many, many people I know. And anyone who's successful has done it with a good many people. It's a matter of conveying by phone your knowledge, your sincerity, your honesty, your interest in people. And it's not to be a nosy person, but it's to ask questions, but especially to hear what people have to say, you know. Kent had touched on his approach, and it's a simple approach. And anyone that's not familiar with it can certainly go into the Levinson site and go into the library, and there's really two types of approaches. Again, when you look at a lead, you'll see if it's based on the location of it and the amount of it, if this is someone that you may want to see, you know, or because of the location and the amount of it, someone that you know that is going to be an EAP type of situation. And it's a different approach because, as Ken said, you're giving quotes freely and openly to people who you're not going to see, who you're not going to slide into their dining room table and discuss this face-to-face. At the same time, with people who you feel it's worthwhile to see, location-wise and amount-wise, you don't want to use all your bullets. You don't want to give out all the information, and the biggest piece of information, of course, is the cost of it. So you want to leave that out to them as far as giving them a quote. You do have to qualify people. You certainly don't want to take the time, especially if you're going to see somebody who has some serious medical problems, for instance. So as Kent had gone through before, it's important to qualify them along with possibly giving them the quotes that they need. In a situation like this, in a lead that's been put out there, for instance, with this gentleman, Gary Peterson, it shows the husband and wife. They're located in Colorado, and it shows you the pertinent information as far as their date of births, heights and weights, if they're smokers or non-smokers, at least one good telephone number. In many cases, there's two good phone numbers. Bill had mentioned that every order does have at least 2 to 4 free leads going with it, and that's simply because I don't look at it as having problems selling people. It's more of sometimes you just don't reach people. You know, they're just totally impossible to reach, number one, so you've never even had a shot of them. Believe it or not, even though these leads are very fresh, in other words, they've been filled out and sent back within the past week or 10 days, and you'll find that at least 70 to 80% of the people you call, you will be the first caller. You know, there will be situations, as was mentioned, that they have been contacted by other agents simply because they've sent these things out numerous times and at numerous different sources. So you may not be the first one, but in the majority of cases, you will be. And it's really a matter of just establishing the rapport with people and knowing how you're going to approach them on the telephone. In a lot of leads, by the way, and this again shows you two people, husband and wife in this case. In a lot of cases, there's only one borrower, or it shows only one borrower. Do not assume that it's only one borrower. The approach I've always had is if there is only one borrower that appears, I'll ask them if they're looking for coverage just on themselves, or is there a significant other that they'd like to get coverage for also. And that's where they'll say, oh, well, I am married, and say, but my wife's not on the mortgage. Well, that's fine. We can certainly help her also. So now you've got two prospects instead of one. Even if there is two people that appear, I've always asked, are you interested in getting coverage for both you and Paulette, or is it more important for one or the other? And again, most times someone will say, well, I'd like to get a quote for both of us. That's great. In other cases, they'll say, well, I'll be honest with you. The magnification or the result of something happening to me would be far greater to her than vice versa. And again, that shows your interest in this. So it's just a matter of knowing that you've got that particular person on the telephone. You've got control of the conversation. Use your time wisely. That's the most important piece of advice I can give anyone. And things will happen. And as Kent said, you know, good things happen, and things reoccur and happen. In other words, you'll find that you will get referrals from people, through people. You will have cross-selling where you not only sell them one product, but there's a need for other products. And it's a fantastic door opener. And that's all any type of lead program represents, is a way to open a new door, a door that you wouldn't have opened, and be able to explore the needs, what's inside that door. The last thing I really want to say to any of you folks who are out there today that haven't tried the program, it works. And as Bill said, the proof of it is really the fact of there's a nucleus of people, week after week after week, who order leads, show the results, make the money, and that's what you have to allow yourself. You know, as Ken said, it takes money to make money. And it will, if you give this an honest try, to me, that means at least 3 or 4 times, you will see the results of it. You'll see the fruits of your labor. And the first thing is feel comfortable with the program and know how you want to deal with these kinds of leads. That's pretty much it. It does work. And I wish any of you who are ordering continued success, and any of you who are thinking about ordering, I wish you a lot of success. I know it's there for your taking.
Thank you.
And I thank you guys for your time.
Thank you for your time. That was excellent. Okay, we have about 5 minutes left, and Joe is going to quickly just talk about which products, carriers are available with that quick drop ticket and e-application platform. This way you know exactly where to go when you're on the phone with a client. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So currently we have 9 drop tickets and about 18 to 20 full e-applications. The main difference between the two is that the full e-applications, it's going to take on average about 10 to 15 minutes to go through the full e-app. Everything is electronically signed through email. Now with the drop tickets, which are actually showing on the left side of your screen, you actually have the ability to do a very quick 5 to 7 minute e-application. The client does not have to open up any emails. They don't have to do anything. You're basically taking basic information on that client, hitting the submit button. The life insurance carrier is then picking up that ball and running with it. So what I did on the next screenshot is actually showed a sample of a drop ticket e-application. So this is all the basic information that you need to gather from that client. As you can see, it's very basic content details, name, address, beneficiaries, some medical questions, the type of coverage, that's it. Once you hit that submit button, you've explained the coverage to that client. They're going to get a phone call from the carrier to ask them a couple medical questions and to actually schedule the paramed exam. We do have those carriers that don't require any paramed exams whatsoever. You can do the full e-application with that platform and get coverage in as little as, with some carriers, 24 hours. And with the Lightning Term product, you can actually have instant approval. So there's a lot of different options to make this very simple, very easy. The key thing is, like we had mentioned, some of those leads may be outside of your hometown. So to be able to have the ability to do e-applications and drop tickets is really key to this entire process, because you don't want to let that lead go to waste, where you can call them and do everything over the phone. If you haven't tried this before, I recommend going into the CarrieLevinson.com website, testing out the e-applications. You'll see they're very simple, very easy to work with. There's a lot of great options to use that e-application platform.
Okay, excellent, Joe. Okay, we're going to end the call, and I just want to thank everyone.